Guys, it's finally here. The April fusion was announced yesterday, and we are going to be doing a review of this champion to see if he is worth going for. So guys, the new champion is Lysanthir Beastbane. He is from the High Elves faction. Now, the last High Elf we had as a fusion was the Incarnate, and she wasn't that good. The High Elves in general need some more oomph to them. They're not generally that great. So we're going to see if this guy actually is any good, what his kit is, all that kind of stuff. Guys, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Hold up. Click the link in the description below right now to get a free legendary champion, Bambus 4-leaf, as well as one amazing free epic as you level up. Here are the exact steps you need to follow. 1. Log out of Plarium Play on your PC. If you've never had Raid installed on your mobile phone before, the link will work there too. 2. Click the link in the description and start a brand new Raid Shadow Legends account with a brand new email. 3. Launch Raid and complete your tutorial. 4. You can find Bambus 4-leaf here as well as Ugo at level 15. This is an amazing account start in Raid Shadow Legends, so be sure to use my link in the description below right now. So where do we start with this champion, right? Where do we start? It seems like he has a lot going on. So he, on his A1 here, Echo Bolt, attacks one enemy 2 times. First hit has a 75% chance to place Hex on the target for 2 turns. Places a 30% increased crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. And then he does book to 100% chance on the A1 of placing the Hex. So he's going to go in double hit, place a Hex and an increased crit damage buff on himself. I mean, single target Hex on an A1. I mean, it's not a bad A1, but it's not like fantastic either. You know, it'll help keep your Hex up. A1 debuffs are very good, especially when they're 100% chance. It'll help keep your Hex up. But, I mean, like, think about that for, like, Hydra, which is where Hex is generally used, right? Like, you're not going to go in for the Head of Mischief and replace a Hex. I don't know. Seems like a pretty odd A1, but, I mean, the increased crit damage buff is nice, right? So he does get some books into damage as well. So on the A2 here, Wily Hunter on a 5-turn cooldown, books to a 3-turn cooldown. Attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 20% chance of repeating the attack. All right, that's nice. You know, Thor's A1 is fantastic, and, you know, he has that kind of thing. When this champion counterattacks or teams up with allies to attack an enemy, will use this skill instead of their default skill. The damage inflicted with this skill increases by 10% each time an ally is devoured, stacks up to 50%. Honestly, that seems niche, but good. So this is clearly a Hydra champion. He's got the Hex. He's got scaling based off of how many times an ally is devoured. They have to get devoured 5 times to fully max that out. If this slaps really hard, it could honestly be a really good skill, especially since it's not only ramping, but it has a 20% chance of repeating. Yeah, we'll have to see the multiplier here. If the multiplier isn't good, then this champion, I think, is going to be trash. But if the multiplier for the skill is good, I think this has the potential, at least, to be very solid for Hydra. I don't think it'll be top tier, but I do think it'll be solid. Again, it's a really weird A1, and we'll get to the passive in a little bit, which I think that makes a bit of a difference, but it's very, very interesting, right? But that's on a 3-turn cooldown. I mean, it's Thor's A1 and it ramps, but it's on a cooldown. That's the part where I'm just kind of like, is this guy really good? Like, is he really good? He has another champion's A1 on an active skill, basically. You know what I mean? That's why I say it depends on the multipliers, because if the multipliers are better than Thor's A1, I mean, you know, this skill is definitely worthwhile, but, like, otherwise it just seems like he has someone else's A1 on an active skill, which is really bad. So the A3 here, Rune Snares on a 5-turn cooldown, attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 75% chance of placing decreased speed and weaken for 2 turns. If the target is under Hex, places these debuffs before attacking. So he is Spirit Affinity, not a Void Affinity champion, so we will run into affinity issues. Decreased speed and weaken are both super solid debuffs, especially for Hydra. However, what we have to consider and keep in mind is that the last 3 fusions now... Oh, no, sorry. Both Hatter and Esme have an AoE weaken. Fabian does not. But, like, 2 of the 4 fusions of this year have an AoE weaken. So if you guys have done those, this guy might not be, like, the highest in your list. He does need accuracy, and he does seem to be a damage dealer, right? Of course, he will book his buff debuff chance to a 100% chance, right? But, like, it's really odd to have another AoE weaken fusion. The decreased speed plus the weaken is a pretty unique combination, so maybe some people will get some value out of that. I might get some value out of that. I don't know. Like, is this guy worth going for? For me, I'm not entirely sure. Like, this A2 is really underwhelming to me. Like, unless it has a great multiplier, like this A2 kind of, and then the A3, unless it's kind of, you know, unless it has a good multiplier, you know, the decreased speed and the weaken are great, but like, if the target is under hex, debuff places these debuffs before attacking. I mean, that's nice. You know, if you run it with your AoE hexer, that is nice. I don't know. It's just kind of meh. Let's see if the passive changes any of this. Will ignore life barrier and ally protection buffs. Increases the champion's defense by 5% for each active buff on this champion. Stacks up to 50%. He is defense-based, so he's going to be a defense-based nuker with decreased speed and weaken. With Thor's A1 on an active skill, a hex on the A1, increased crit damage on himself, ignoring life barrier and ally protection. Now, the nice thing is that is 100% all the time. Now, I will say the other champion who ignores life barrier and ally protection is going to be Calamitous, right? So the Calamitous here, on his second form, this skill ignores life barrier, poison cloud, and ally protection on the termination. It's not actually that useful. The ignoring poison cloud is the most useful of the bunch. The ignoring life barrier, though, it's just kind of, okay. He is ignoring life barrier. I mean, the hex damage still goes into the life barrier, all that kind of stuff. So it's a bit underwhelming of an effect. Now, Mr. Lysander here, or whatever his name is, Lysanthir is just always going to do it. Will that make a difference? I don't know. He's not ignoring poison cloud, you know? He's not ignoring poison cloud the same way Calamitous is. It is nice that it's a constant effect. Like, it's kind of strange. I mean, he does ramp, right? Increases the champion's defense by 5% for each active buff on this champion. Stacks up to 50%. That's really good with a protection set, right? Because that's going to also scale damage. We'll have to see multipliers, and we're going to have to see base stats in order to determine if this guy is good. Like, honestly, we've had like all Hydra fusions this year, and they've all had a weaken. One of them has had an AoE hex. I don't know. Are you guys going to go for this guy? I might skip. I seriously might skip. Again, we're going to have to see some multipliers to see if this is any good. He's defense-based, which makes me a little bit I don't know. The AoE double hitter is nice. I mean, there are things to like about his kit. Don't get me wrong. It just, on the whole, seems a bit underwhelming. You know, I mean, it is nice he has all 3 turn cooldowns. The Wily Hunter might be the best part of his kit if it hits hard. Like, that's the thing. If this guy hits hard, he'll be good. And if he doesn't, he'll be absolute garbage. So we're going to need to see some testing, I think, before we make any kind of calls. His aura increases ally defense in all battles by 28%. That's all right. You know, that's all right. It's not going to be taken in arena. Like, this guy's not an arena champion. He is maybe for faction wars. Might be good for faction wars hard. Like, that's the other thing that we have to consider here, right? Faction Wars Hard is about to drop, and we don't know what we're going to need. We don't know what we're going to need to complete those stages, so maybe he'll be good for Faction Wars Hard. Like, there is content that they have yet to release that we can consider for this champion. But the reality is, like, for the current content, you know, we do have to think about the state of the game in a month or so, but for the current content, I'm not entirely sure he's good. The debuffs are nice. The A2 is unique, certainly. The A1 is okay. The passive might be effective and might not be. It's so situational. He's not ignoring poison cloud. You know, honestly, if it was poison cloud and ally protection or life barrier and poison cloud, I'd be like, yeah, this guy's good. But he's not going to ignore poison cloud. I don't know, guys. What do y'all think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Honestly, if I could skip a fusion and save some shards for the dog, we expected something like Easter themed. This guy's not Easter themed. But if I could save my shards for the dog, that'd be awesome. So it's probably going to be a skip for me. That's what I'm thinking. Change my mind in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this guy, Lysanthir Beastbane. I don't know. He's kind of strange. I will say once again, I do like his A2 in the fact that it permanently scales by quite a bit. It's so much like Thor's A1. Like, will this guy be as good as Thor? I highly doubt it. Unless that Wily Hunter has like a 5 times multiplier on each hit, in which case, like, yeah, definitely go for him. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm a bit iffy on this fusion, guys. I'm a bit iffy. Like, who do you run him with? Well, obviously he's meant to be run with an ally attacker. And now we do have a good few ally attackers, especially for like Hydra. And then the one that came to mind for me is going to be like Grand Oak Padraig, right? He's got this ally attack with continuous heal. So if you run a couple ally attackers alongside him, he might be all right. I don't know. I don't know. He's just kind of mid, I think. I think he's just kind of mid. I kind of hate to say that because, I mean, I like to see good champions and good fusions and all that stuff, but I think he's just kind of mid. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of this guy? Guys, hope you enjoyed the wing video yesterday. I've been Felris, sailing the seas of Raid Shadow Legends, and I will see you in another video.